The first tournament of the season has ended with Coello and Tapia taking the victory. But what might seem like just another win is actually something completely different, because Stupa and LeBron's level was absolutely insane. In fact, we saw Tapia and LeBron talking once the match finished, so what were they saying? And what about Stupa's insane recovery? Was that point legal or not? A lot went down in Riyadh, so let's comment everything. Hello all players, I'm Pablo and I welcome you to a new 4Set. One of the most epic matches of the tournament happened in the quarterfinals, Chingalán versus Augsburger, the new duo of Cardona and Augsburger. The court was semi-fast, with rallies averaging 6.45 shots per point. So it wasn't the fastest court in the world, but Augsburger and Cardona were still able to do some serious damage. And without a doubt, Leo was the MVP of the match, because he had a 67% smash effectiveness compared to Galan's 47. But beyond that, his mentality was incredible, because he plays the same whether it's 15-0 or facing a break point. And not every player can say that, because Leo is special. Beyond these matches, Augsburger keep attacking throughout the entire match. Actually, they got 18 more winners than Chingalán. And if there was one player who struggled, it was Galan. He didn't look comfortable, he wasn't as dominant as usual, and in key moments like break points, he was actually the worst of the four players. If we look at the Padel intelligence charts, Galan's mental game was the weakest of the four. After that match, a lot of people started saying that this was the end of Chingalán, that Ale should break with Chingotto. But please, let's not forget that last year they reached 14 consecutive finals. Remember that this was the first tournament of the season, outdoors with weird court conditions. So I don't think a single tournament is enough to determine Chingalán's future, to be honest. But before we continue analyzing Augsburger and Cardona's tournament, some other big name duos fell along the way. First up, Teo and Lijak, who came into Riyadh as the 15th ranked pair. And good news, because we finally got to see a more aggressive El Gato Teo gaining confidence after a tough 2024. And a lot of that is thanks to Tino and his playing style. They took down Paquito and Bergamini, Tino's kryptonite, in the round of 16 with a great performance from both. Then in the quarters, they pushed Koki and Yanguas to a third set. But please, no need to worry about the Paquito-Bergamini duo, because Paco's first tournaments have never been his strong suit. But I really like the chemistry between them, with Paco staying positive and constantly hyping up Berga. Yes, it is true that they lost to Teo and Lijak, but they were close. On a slower court, they could be much more dangerous, so who's hopping on the Paquito's boat? It is true that they were the first to be eliminated, but they left a really good impression on me. Actually, the exact opposite of Garrido and Dineno, who, in my opinion, had the worst performance in Riyadh, because they couldn't put up much resistance against Stupa and LeBron in the quarters, and honestly, I expected a lot more from this duo. Before Riyadh, they were close to Koki and Yanguas in the ranking, but after this loss, they're falling behind. Actually, Koki and Yanguas, on the other hand, live up to expectations. They were the 4th ranked pair and made it to the semifinals before losing to Coello and Tapia. That is something normal, but I saw a more aggressive Koki, and overall they left a good impression. But it is true that it's still far from Coello and Tapia's level. That said, they could be contenders for the number 2 spot this season. Although, let's be real, because talking about the race for the number 2 pair is way too early, especially after just one tournament. Because if we're being fair, shouldn't we consider Cardona and Augsburger as contenders too? Well, only time will tell, but the semi-final between Stupa, LeBron and Cardona Augsburger was absolutely epic. Just like Stupa's controversial recovery. Well, Cardona smashes, the ball flies out of the court, bounces off the fence, and Stupa gets there to return it. But in doing so, he touches the glass, and that's where the controversy starts. The point continues and Cardona and Augsburger end up losing it, so Stupa and LeBron celebrates like crazy. Around 30 seconds later, Leo asks the referee for a video review because Stupa touches the glass. and most likely Leo saw the replay on the stadium screen. Well, the mistake in my opinion was that the referee initially accepted the review request but then changed his mind after Stupa and LeBron protested. So if you ask me, the point should be being illegal because touching any part of the opponent's court should be a fault. But specifically touching the glass is a grey area that is not covered in the rulebook. But aside from that, LeBron was the MVP of that match. Because just look at the Padel intelligence charts and how Juan's level skyrocketed in the final moments of the match. He stepped up in the clutch and saved 2 match points with Stupa to reach the final. So given how well Augsburger played, do you think they will finish the year together? So if I had to bet, I would say no, but who could they team up with? So this way we reached the grand final 2 days later than scheduled, something that I don't remember ever happening before. I do remember Chile last year and Andorra in 2017 where finals got delayed by a day, but 2 days. In fact, if they haven't been able to play on Monday, the prize money and ranking points would be being split between all 4 players. But Pablo, what happened in the final? What was the controversy between Tapia and LeBron? Well, Coello and Tapia reached the final without dropping a set, proving that despite Arturo's move to Miami, nothing has changed. While at the same time, Stupa and LeBron came in with massive confidence after their comeback against Leo and Pablo. But bad news for LeBron because his last win against Coello and Tapia was exactly a year ago in Riyadh 2024. And only the men's final was played because after Bea and Claudia defeated Delphi and Gemma in the semis, they withdrew. Actually, that decision was really weird to me because on Instagram, Bea said she was withdrawing as a precaution even though she claimed to be feeling fine and had no discomfort. And she made that decision 24 hours before the final, so something seems off. Regardless this, the longest final in history started exactly as expected, Coello and Tapia taking the first set, because in clutch moments they were simply better. So if we look at the performance charts, Coello and Tapia's level was close to 9 throughout the entire match, while LeBron and Stupa have more ups and downs. But still, they managed to do something no one else had in the tournament. Take a set off the number 1s and force a third. And early in that last set, Tapia pulled off an impossible point. LeBron then criticized Tapia and Coello's celebration, saying it was excessive, but that actually fired him up. And Tapia, despite being at only 80% physically due to the injury he's been dealing with since the Hexagon Cup, Tapia was the best player in the final with 38 winners, more than anyone, and 15 and 4-0, same as Coello. The number 1s keep proving they're above weather conditions or rain delays. But watch out because LeBron seems to be back. After the match, we saw LeBron saying something to Tapia while covering his mouth so no one could read his lips. But we did hear Tapia say, "I didn't disrespect you," so I think Juan was calling him out for his celebration. But either way, it was just heat of the moment stuff. But with Riyadh over, we have no idea when we will see the best players compete again. Because as you all know, they are in negotiations with Premier Padel and the 5th to improve what they see as key issues. First, the ranking points awarded at the tournaments. Second, the number of tournaments that count towards rankings. And third, the size of P1 tournaments draws. Obviously there is more, but those are the biggest points. So if you want me to make a deep dive video on this, let me know, otherwise today's video would be being too long. So thank you so much for watching the video, don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one. Ciao!